What if your delivery truck showed up at your client's front door looking like it just left the shop, covered in dirt, grime, or worse, bad smells and biohazards? For many Edmonton businesses, the first visual impression is everything. That's exactly why Starfleet's mobile biohazard and detailing isn't just nice to have, it's become quite essential. I've got a quote to share with you guys today from Aristotle. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Because for fleet managers, excellence isn't a one-time clean. It's continuous service, consistency, and trust. All right, today we're here again with, of course, Stéphane Gautron. He's from Starfleet Mobile Detailing, and today we're going to be talking about remediation of odors and other biohazards in vehicles for fleets, for police vehicles, ambulances, and others. Can you tell us how you got started in fleet detailing and biohazard cleaning? What problem were you seeing in the Edmonton market that you felt it needed a solution?
Well, during COVID, we basically shifted from doing both commercial and residential to primarily doing commercial.
Okay.
For the most part, it was because during COVID, people didn't drive, right? Everyone was stuck home, but the companies kept going. And so we slowly just grew in the field of companies. And when we do their vehicle, it's an array of different things. It could be delivery trucks, semi-trucks with sleepers, construction crew cabs, you name it, they use it. But their worry is safety. Okay. And so safety is not just about getting hurt on the job site, but it's also not getting sick.
Right.
And they were very concerned about keeping all their work vehicles safe when it came to COVID. And we also we still do a contract for Canada, the government of Canada. And so we do drug remediation. And so that was very niche because not everybody requires that, right? Or needs that. But then slowly we would get calls from body shops that had repossessed cars that needed to be remediated from drugs. And so we started to go into more to that biohazard field. It's also very niche, but it is something that's in demand because nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
So we grew more into that, and we specialized more into that. So that we would get calls from people getting sick or from drugs, but also mice getting into cars or travel trailers during the wintertime. Mm-hmm. And we needed to find a solution to getting that remediated properly. And so through our research, we went from using specialized cleaners, but we also used ozone. And ozone was not 100%. It helped for a little bit, but it wasn't as effective. And then we got contacted by a company actually in Ontario who does all the Ford vehicles for Canada. And so they wanted us to do, since they have no presence here, they wanted us to do a vehicle for them that was here in Edmonton. And so they provide us a product that's effective. And so we started using that, and now it opened up even more. The niche expanded because now we could really treat anything. We weren't just limiting ourselves. So now we can do, like if there's for example, there's a blood spill. So now RCMP, if somebody for whatever reason got the backseat bloodied up, we can go in there with our product, neutralize everything, and then clean up. So now most of the calls we get are actually for that kind of thing where people feel unsafe and they want us to make the car or the vehicle safe.
All right. Now, what does biohazard cleaning mean regarding Starfleet? And what kinds of issues do you deal with, and how is it different from a regular detailing?
Yeah, so biohazard is really anything that's organic, that's unsafe, right? Bacteria, for example, or viral hazards. It could also be odors from excrement, urine from mice, or even animals like dogs and cats. People have that in their cars. So we get calls. It could be also vomit. It could, anything that people, feel icky around.
Yeah. What about food smells? Because people eat and drink in their car all the time. Will we get that stuff out as well?
Yeah, for sure. So we get a lot of coffee spills that have milk And milk, we know how that is.
Yeah, milk and sugar, man, that'll do it.
Yeah. So our process, what we do is on top of detailing, because what happens with detailing, you're using general products, so disinfectants and degreasers. But when it comes to biohazard, we use a product that neutralizes the bacteria. It kills it in essence. And it's good against any type of bacteria or virus. So there's no buts. It works hands down. Now there is some danger to it. So that's why it's not available for the public. It's only professionals that can use it, because you do have to protect yourself because it is a lung irritant. But the nice thing about it is in 3 days, it becomes inactive. So it's not something that you can worry about. Oh, am I getting, is this going to affect my health if was put in my vehicle or in my trailer? It becomes inert in 3 days. So there's zero chance of affecting somebody negatively.
Nice. So let me ask you, Stefan, when a business owner calls you for fleet detailing, what are some of their biggest concerns or some of their pain points? Now, is it cost, downtime, safety, legal, regulations? Like, what are the biggest concerns they have?
So when it comes to detailing, the primary concern is safety. The last thing they want is somebody getting hurt on their job site, because remember, we go to them. So we're on their property. And safety is number one. So a lot of the different companies require for us to go through a safety orientation yearly. And so if we don't have that, then they'll actually say, we've got to get that done first. So that's number one. And of course, they want a company that will respect that. All the employees respect that throughout the year, so nobody gets hurt. So that's the priority number one. And then when it comes to biohazard, that also comes under safety. And so when they call us for biohazard, obviously it's more costly. I mean, we have to go there with our masks and our hazmat suits and whatnot, and protect ourselves as well. And that kind of thing, they don't want to just ask anybody. They're really concerned about safety and health. And of course, there aren't that many people that do that. I think we're the only ones that do it mobile. And the cost, I mean, we're affordable. We're a lot more economical than our competition because it's a service that we provide. We're not just doing biohazard. And where most of our competition, they'll usually do, they do cars, but mostly it's like crime scenes. And so because they're really specialized, their prices are kind of outrageous,
right?
Because it's insurance claims.
Sure.
For us, it's not insurance claims. So we try to work with our customers and make it affordable, but also professional.
Right. And regarding the vehicles themselves, like what are their biggest concerns with the vehicles?
So if it's not a company, they want to make it safe. Usually when it's a residential customer, their primary concern is just the smell. They want to get rid of the smell. So it could be, an animal got sick, or it could be a spill from coffee. Sometimes we get gasoline spills, things like that. So their concern is just getting rid of that smell, because you can imagine every time you get in your car and it has that odor, it kind of is a turnoff.
Right.
And so that's what they call us for. And, we deliver.
Now, walk me through a day in the life for your mobile team when working with a fleet client. What logistics, planning, and safety protocols are involved?
Yeah, so every day, because we work with companies every day, so they come into the shop, they get their trucks ready, or their vans, I should say, with all the products they need. And if it's a specialty, like a biohazard, then they bring in their hazmat suits and their masks and gloves. Well, they always work with gloves, and then they head to the job site. And once they get on the job site, it's the same protocol no matter what. You have to have your safety boots. Some places require a hard hat and goggles, like even if you're not doing anything, just getting on the property.
Yeah.
And so, they go accordingly. And then they do whatever they're supposed to do. But always safety is priority.
Now, how do you ensure consistency and reliability when you're working at different locations? So whether it's in a yard, a job site, or a customer's premises?
Well, the procedures are always the same. We have a way of doing what needs to be done. For example, we'll start usually with vacuuming, and then we'll go into our extraction, and then wipe down the vehicle. When it's a biohazard, what we try to do is neutralize the hazard first. So once we neutralize the hazard, then we go into the detailing, and we know that they don't have to have a hazmat suit for 3 hours.
Right. Yeah.
You go in there, neutralize, and you can get comfortable and then do your work.
Okay. Can you share a specific story where your biohazard and fleet service made a surprising difference for a client, something that's just beyond it looks good?
Well, obviously, when it's remediating smell, that's night and day. People go in there and it's like, oh, wow, like I can sit in my car again. When it comes to just regular detailing, the biggest effect we see is when people say, wow, I think I'm going to keep my car another year. Because most of the time when they come to us, they just bought a car and they want to make it safe, or they're selling it. They want to make it look good. And a lot of times you get kind of tired of your vehicle, but when you clean it, give it a nice polish, you clean it inside and it looks new, then you're like, oh, you know what? Now all of a sudden you feel proud again of driving this vehicle.
Right.
And it's happened several times where people are like, wow, this looks great. We just did a polish for a truck last week. And the owner of the truck says, wow, he goes, I could just stare at this all day, because it looks like a brand new truck.
Right.
If not better, because it's super polished, super reflective, right? It reflects everything. So it's kind of awe-inspiring.
Nice. Very good. So what do people have to do in order to, book your service, whether they have a fleet of trucks, vans, cars, maybe they're a plumbing company or electrician company, or a residential customer? What do they got to do?
So they call us in, they tell us what they need, and then we send them an estimate. And then if everything's good, then they can, on the estimate, there's two choices: approve or disapprove, or decline the estimate. And then we'll find out why. What's the problem? Is it because it's too expensive? Because there's some things we could take out, right? Sometimes they just tell us a whole list of things they want, but it's not necessary.
Right.
So we'll suggest, well, if you're going to sell it, this is what's really needed. For example, you sell your vehicle, you need to do the interior. The exterior, you can go through your car wash if you wanted, but the engine bay has to be done. Because when you pop that hood, when you're inspecting a vehicle, you're going to buy it, that engine's got to look clean. Right. If it looks dirty, then it looks like you don't take care of your vehicle. Sure. So those are things we'll suggest. Interior, exterior wash is optional, but you have to get your engine bay done. And then, of course, if we see the wheels have a lot of grime on it from brake dust, at that point, if you have to do your wheels, do the whole car on the outside. And those are what will impress people when they go to look at your car if you're selling it. If you're buying a vehicle, now it's not really about the looks, it's about making it safe. So we'll do the inside. A lot of times it might be a weird odor. We treat the odor, and that's what the customers are expecting.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge with us and telling us all about, making the vehicle not just look good, but smell good and feel good to be in. So if you guys are looking for that kind of service, definitely contact Starfleet Detailing, and they're local here in Edmonton. They're happy to come out to your place of business or to your home and, clean up your vehicle and make sure that it's showroom ready. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks.